Good day everyone, Brayden here coming to you from the Magic Kingdom, where today we're headed right over to Tomorrowland to talk about what is going on with the PeopleMover. As you can see, heading over to Tomorrowland here, it is just a beautiful day in the Magic Kingdom. The stage show is finishing up behind us. As you're headed into Tomorrowland, if you look off to the right side and look at the PeopleMover supports on this side, you can see they have that 90s, very steampunk look to the design that we've had since the 90s here in the Magic Kingdom. But if you look off to the left side, you'll notice those PeopleMover track supports look completely different, and those are actually brand new. They were just completed. Disney's been working on them for a long time, where what Disney is doing is going through Tomorrowland and redesigning it back to the more 1971 sleek retro future style, as Disney adapts the land and overhauls it for the Tron Coaster coming 2021. I don't know about you, but I really like this new modern look they're giving to Tomorrowland and the supports we have over here, which are so original and so classic. And if you're wondering about what they're gonna do with the ones on this side, they'll be changing them as well. Something interesting though, if you look at the new side, the part under the track is actually still the steampunk ornamentation. They just painted white over it to give it a more of a sleek style. I wonder if they'll change that in the future. Right now it looks like they are keeping the bottom of the PeopleMover track supports the original steampunk style. They just painted over them. Let me know what you guys think about that, because over here they're silver, now they just painted them white. But all in all, I think these changes we're seeing to Tomorrowland are definitely a step in the right direction, and now we need to talk about the PeopleMover itself, because lately it has been very busy and people want to know what is going on. Now increasingly over the last few years, and especially this past year in the last few months, the lines here at the PeopleMover, the Wedway PeopleMover, have just been getting longer and longer and longer. And there's been a lot of people wondering, how has the PeopleMover gone from a very low wait, 5-minute wait attraction that no one really cared about to one of the biggest attractions in the Magic Kingdom unironically. If you look at some of the wait times from 2015, some of the graphs on touring plans where you can see the wait times throughout the day, it was often hovering around 5 to 15 minutes. Now, if you look recently, like this past week, there have been some times where the wait for the PeopleMover has been over 40 minutes long. That is a pretty substantial change, and I think it speaks to something a little more extensive than just, oh, the park is busy. Lately, the parks have been very busy. This morning, I was in Hollywood Studios, and the line for the Slinky Dog Dash went all the way over to Star Wars Launch Bay. So safe to say there are a lot of people in the parks, so you're gonna see waits go up on everything. But the popularity of the PeopleMover especially has grown a lot over the last few years in comparison to other attractions. Now, there seem to be a few big operating theories as to why the PeopleMover specifically has exploded in popularity recently. The first theory is Instagram. Social media has made very aesthetically pleasing experiences and attractions at the Disney parks, like the PeopleMover, much more visible. So when it actually comes time for your trip, you make a note to actually go experience something like the PeopleMover, which in turn, of course, adds to the lines. Another theory out there as to why a lot of people are riding the PeopleMover recently is because they want to see the construction on the Tron Coaster. My question here is, how many guests riding the PeopleMover even know they can see the Tron Coaster construction from the PeopleMover attraction prior to lining up for it? And for that matter, how many everyday guests even know about the Tron Coaster period, right? I think there's a lot that don't know about it at all. So my main theory, the last theory, which is one that I believe a lot, is in this modern era where you have to plan out every aspect of your vacation way in advance, and there's all these thrill rides, and there's all these fast passes, and there's all this stuff you have to do. It's very stressful, right? It's like a working vacation. It's very nice to just have this relaxing, enjoyable experience where you can just sit back, not worry about it. You don't have to get a fast pass for it. You can just line up, get on the attraction, and just sit back for 10 minutes and just enjoy cruising around Tomorrowland. That is why I think this attraction has gained so much popularity, just because of the relaxing aspect of it, which at one time was a drawback for the attraction, where people thought, oh, it's a waste of time, I'm just gonna go do thrill rides, where now it's actually the opposite, because there's so many thrill rides, there's so much, oh, we gotta go do this, we have to go do this, we have to go to this fast pass at this time. Just being able to sit back, relax, and just have a few moments to just enjoy where you are and what you're doing, and just sit back for 10 minutes and cruise around Tomorrowland. I think that that is the lead cause as to why we've seen this explosion in popularity with the People Mover, probably compounded with the people wanting to see the Tron Coaster and the Instagram theory. I think those are definitely part of it as well. Let me know your guys' ideas as to why the People Mover has become so busy. Something like the People Mover being a relaxing experience that's very spontaneous, I think has definitely attracted a lot of people. By the way guys, one other thing of note, I've been noticing there's actually been a pretty big crowd here today at the Carousel Progress. And something wild that happened is a hand fell off of one of the animatronics here on the attraction the other day, which is pretty crazy. A few weeks ago, someone like got up on the stage and like messed around with it like some unruly guest. But it looks like weeks later, for some reason, all of a sudden, one of the hands came off the animatronics. But I believe that has been fixed up now. Very interesting stuff like that happens, though. Disney, maintain these attractions. This is a classic. Over by Space Mountain, you can see the outdoor Tron Coaster track going up, going around, and you can see that huge mound of dirt where they're moving around stuff and doing all the excavation for what is going to be the queue ramp you're going to take to the attraction. And here you can see guests trying on the Tron Light Cycle bikes. These are so cool, especially at night when they light up. I highly suggest you guys take photos of these at night, because that's when they really, really look awesome. As far as the Tron Coaster work itself goes, right now a lot of the focus is on this little elevated platform right here. Seems like that's where a lot of the work is going, actually putting down the cement for that. And if you look at the side of the building here, you can see from the guest view from over in Storybook Circus, now the Gravity building is almost entirely blocked in with those panels. And you can see there's this weird striped color design they got going on here. And from Storybook Circus, it does look very odd right now, sightlines wise. The good news is, I think with some trees, they can make this so it's basically not even visible from Storybook Circus. And from the Tomorrowland area, of course, you're gonna have that awesome Tron canopy facade that's gonna be lit up with LEDs. So I don't think there's too much to worry about there. If you look closely right now, you can see the crane is actually rotating, bringing stuff around. That's crazy. I have to say, it's just so cool to see that track going by Space Mountain there, and then it goes off into that massive Gravity building. That is a big building. It goes really far back. It goes like all the way back to the road that goes around the Magic Kingdom. It is pretty wild. And while we're over here, we should probably take a look at the train, which has now moved to the Fantasyland station. It's been a while since this area has been open. You can see they have a seating area in here. Very nice. The Lilly Belle, now in her new location. And if you actually notice, before she had a bunch of cars on the back here, now there is just one, the back car, the caboose. That's all that's here, and they actually moved the rest to the roundhouse, believe it or not. So because of all the work they're doing on the track over by Tron, right now the Walt Disney World Railroad is not operating, and now it is official that it will not be returning till 2021. So essentially we're basically waiting for the Tron Coaster before we get the Walt Disney World Railroad back, although I think it will be able to open before the Tron Coaster, just because all this thing is really waiting on is the new track that they're building over by Tron, and then that tunnel that you see in the Tron concept art. So once those are done, likely all the construction around that area with Tron will be completed as well. So at that point, the Walt Disney World Railroad can get back running. And then if we look at the front here, we can see all the work going on. You can actually see a construction vehicle moving in the distance. Look at that thing. And then up ahead, you can see derail, stop, crew at work. And that's all the work they're doing with the Tron Coaster. You can actually see right now a crane being lowered, the actual part that picks up the parts. Look at that cement the crane is holding right now that they're gonna put into position on the elevated queue platform. That is crazy. So much work happening right now. It's really great to see the train over here. Just the fact that it moved from the Main Street station over here. It's good to see that the Lilly Belle still runs. And actually, they're gonna be doing work on the track and the station itself over at Main Street Station. That is why they moved the train. So stay on the lookout for that. I think after the City Hall work is done, they'll move over to the next thing. And one more thing we need to talk about here is Big Top Souvenirs, because Big Top Souvenirs last week was closed for a little while, these actually past few days, and the reason why is because it flooded inside of Big Top Souvenirs. And why that matters is because inside of Big Top Souvenirs, you have a very cool carpet. A carpet that was made specifically for the tents to make it look like a carnival, to make it look like a circus. It was really cool, but since it flooded, now we have this normal carpet. They actually had to re-carpet the entire inside of the merchandising and food and beverage location. A lot of people don't realize they actually have food and beverage in here. It's actually some pretty good desserts and pastry type stuff, so be sure to check it out in here. It's definitely very cool, but for the time being, it looks like we are stuck with some regular carpet. It'll be interesting to see if Disney can get that old carpet, the original carpet they had that was custom themed for this venue, remade, because that was definitely a custom thing, a custom order. We'll see if they redo it or if they just keep the carpet as is. So everyone, that's gonna do it from here in the Magic Kingdom, taking a look at everything going on and the work they're doing on the People Mover, the fact that it's so busy, which is just such a mystery, but I really think the fact that people are just searching for something relaxing and spontaneous on their trip, combined with the popularity it's gotten recently with the Instagram craze and all the merchandise you have for the People Mover now, which is pretty wild as well. It definitely speaks to its popularity in modern times. I think all that compounds into a situation where the People Mover does have a bit of a line, which is pretty crazy. And then also everything going on here with the train, which is wild, and looking over at the Big Top Souvenirs, they actually changed the carpet. So much crazy stuff happening here in Walt Disney World, and we have a lot more to talk about in the other parks, so stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe with those notifications on, because I will be back here with a studio video where we're going to be talking about price increases that just happened with the annual passes. We're going to be talking about a lot going on in the other parks as well. I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you so much for watching live from the Magic Kingdom here at the Fantasyland Station. This is Brayden. Have a magical day.